Hi, I wanted to talk to you today about stretching and different forms of stretching and trying to make your stretching more efficient. So I've been inspired by a couple of people that I've met and spoken to who've been shown the right stretches to do, but could be doing them in a more effective way so that they'll get the results quicker. Obviously, if you're literally just stretching because you've been sat for a long time and you're just mobilizing, then hitting a quick stretch and releasing is absolutely fine. But motion is lotion, it makes you feel better. But if you're stretching because you're trying to make a physiological difference, so you're trying to increase the length of a muscle, because you're trying to achieve something like running faster or being able to increase your range of motion, then you have to hold your stretches for between 20 and 30 seconds for it to make a difference. You have to do them regularly, or else it will make no difference at all. So by regular, I would say that you hold a particular stretch, you do it 3 times, and then repeat it 3 times during the day for a quicker result. Obviously, morning, evening, and before you go to bed works quite well. So let's just talk about a couple of stretches and how we can make sure that those stretches are effective stretches. One stretch that I see people doing that could be improved quite often, it's a really common stretch. Let's talk about it. It's a quad stretch. So if I say to somebody, can you show me your quad stretch? Then very often this is what I'll see. Somebody will grab their foot and they'll stand like this. Now, whilst this is a good quad stretch, it can be done in a more effective manner. So let's talk about how we can improve it so that you can use that in your routine. When you are doing this particular quad stretch, first thing you'll see is that my knees are apart. In order to try and improve the stretch, what we're going to do is going to bring the knees together. But not only are we bringing the knees together, we need to make sure that the stretch doesn't allow the knee to come forwards. What we're trying to do is we're trying to increase the distance between here, the top of the pelvis where the muscle starts, and here, just underneath the knee, on the tibia, where it reaches to. So to increase the distance and improve the stretch, you're going to need to bring the knee from this forward position and bring it in line or parallel with the other knee. So not only are the knees together, but they're parallel as well. Now, to increase the stretch further, what you're going to need to do is to activate your glutes and push that hip forwards. So don't allow it to stick out backwards. So when it's stuck out backwards, we're taking the stretch off of this area. You may well feel it down here, but we're taking the stretch off of this area and making it less effective. So by pushing that forwards, we've got more of a stretch all the way through the whole muscle. Now you might find that you're not flexible enough to be able to hold your foot like that. This stretch isn't about being able to get your foot up to your bum, it's about having an effective stretch. So if you can't hit that position, then try this. Hold onto your trouser leg. So you've got your foot slightly further away, or your sock or something. So then you haven't got to get your foot all the way up to your bum. So you can still do the same thing. So I've got my knees together, I've got them parallel and I'm pushing my hip forwards, but I haven't got the additional strain of having my foot right up next to my bum. So that's the first one, how to make that one more effective. The other stretch that I see being done very often, I'll see people hitting the kneeling position and then reaching all the way forward like this. And I'm not saying this isn't an effective stretch. It can target some muscles, but if your issue is up here in the hips, and that's where you're tight, then you want to change that up slightly. Just give this one a go and see if you find it, if it targets the area more effectively. So you're on your knee, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the hips are square. By that I mean that we don't want this hip to come forwards with the leading leg. We need to make sure that they are completely and utterly square, so bring that hip backwards. So now that you're set perfectly square, we're going to activate the glute again. So not allowing your bum to stick out backwards, we are tipping the tailbone forwards, activating that glute, pushing it forwards and remaining nice and tall. Now as I activate the glute and push it forwards, I can really start to feel that stretch coming further up my leg. So it comes all the way down from the knee, all the way up into this area here that I'm trying to target. Okay, so as we're doing this stretch, then remember, make sure the hips are in line, make sure that you're upright, so don't lean forwards, because again we're taking the stretch away from here, so we want to be nice and upright, and we're tucking that toe underneath. So those are two effective ways of stretching out the hip flexors. There are loads of other ones and varying degrees of difficulty, but if you can get the basics right and get the form right with those, then actually you'll be using your time really well. If you have any questions or want to ask me about doing effective, if you've got a stretch and you're finding that it's not really very effective and you want to up it, either pop a message underneath or contact me on my mobile, and we'll have a discussion about it. Thanks for watching.